future up-and-coming stars is right here in front of you. Melville McKee is at the top of it and pulling away. Nick Yellerly has no answer to the Bamboo Racing Engineering car at the moment, does he?
I should apologise. I did say it was Sims leading, but it's not. It's Yellerly. Oh, we've got somebody going wide up through the chicane. And this is Viziu trying to make his move on Luis Silva. Be careful, because you saw what happened yesterday. Silva made a banzai move on the inside of Ericsson and ended up taking up, of all people, his teammate, Eric Lichtenstein, the Argentine racer, really struggling. Now, show us this. Oh yes, you were absolutely right. We saw Viziu jump start and then not get away at all.
You'll see him mid-pack, there he goes. Now look at this, great start from Carlos Sainz Jr. Sims lights them up, and actually it's the second row that makes a great start and the front row really struggling. Harvey then gets the jump and doesn't really give Sainz Jr. too much room and gets unceremoniously launched for his part to play in the situation. Just unlucky there from Harvey. He'll be disappointed as we see Viziu here making a real hash of things, and that's a really sinking feeling when you're sat on the grid with no engine. But he gets going again, and look.
Oh, the Marussia Manor boys are running wide side by side, and it looks like we've got a swap of positions as Elinas gets past Zamparelli. Zamparelli's now got a problem because he's got Connor Daly swarming all over him, then Niederhauser and Jack Harvey. So that was a big mistake from Zamparelli, who was one of the 5 British drivers in the top 6, but he's thrown it away and handed it to his teammate on a platter there.
He just ran wide on that sausage curve that we were talking about yesterday. On the exit of turn 4, if you run too wide, you get on the curb, and then basically what happens is you can't get off it until it ends. You've got no steering, and that's just what happened to Zamparelli, and now paying the price as Elinas goes through. Bit of a concertina effect further down. This is Niederhauser having to defend from the recovering Jack Harvey. I wonder what the balance is like on that ART car. Quite a bit of contact with Sainz Jr. at turn 1, but nevertheless, Niederhauser feeling all the pressure from the Silverstone race winner, isn't he?
Here he comes around the outside. Is he going to get him into the Vidal chicane? He's going to brave it, but he doesn't find the space. He eventually backs out of it. Niederhauser doing exactly what he needed to do, protecting the inside line on the way into the left-hander. And now Harvey under pressure from the 27 there of Vinio, who won, of course, in Barcelona, and behind him is Kujala. So the Karainen GP boys are looking to pounce if Harvey messes this up. And we've got just in front, Daly now trying to have another crack at Zamparelli down into the first corner.
Perfect example of how difficult it is to overtake here, and also how mindful you have to be of your environment, because Jack Harvey tried to pass Niederhauser in turn, couldn't. Came under pressure from Vinio. Vinio tried to pass Harvey, in turn couldn't, and now is under pressure from Kujala. So if you compromise your line by trying to pass the car in front, you lose momentum, and then you're a sitting duck for the car behind you. They all do actually keep their places, but nevertheless, a fraught few corners for those individuals.
Melville McKee is 2.5 seconds clear of Nick Yellerly. He's putting in a Fasu Regalia-esque performance, and he's looking very likely here to be the 8th different winner in 8 races. This is a chap who, going into this weekend, had not finished in the points for various different reasons. He'd had all sorts of bad luck in the first part of the year. Things have just not gone his way, and here at the Nurburgring, he has got his fire back, and he is on course for a victory here with 2.5 seconds advantage. This is perfect. So down the straight they come again. This is the battle between Zamparelli and Connor Daly, with Theo Elinas having moved past these two and making his way onto the tail of Carlos Sainz Jr. That'll be an interesting battle if he gets close enough. Interestingly enough, Viziu's just served his drive-through penalty for his jump start, so we didn't get a graphic, but he's been pinned, and now he's at the back of the field, 18 seconds behind Carmen Jorda in 27th, and going purple first sector, so he's got the red mist down in that Arden car, hasn't he? He'll be furious, because that was an elementary mistake. Indeed it was, and the thing is, because he made the jump start and then bogged down, he was running in last place effectively anyway, so then to get a penalty on top of that, it's just adding a black eye to a broken arm. It's really not good. Absolutely right. Now, so let's recap. Melville McKee is just checking out, as you said, Jake. Nick Yellerly struggling to keep up with him, but doing a very good job in second place. Alexander Sims, our pole man,
is just under a second behind Nick Yellerly, and with good pace in that Bamboo Engineering car. Not in that Status car, sorry, getting confused. Lewis Williamson in 4th place is in the sister Bamboo Engineering car and doing a very good job. And it is a British 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's not forget that, because that is something to be proud of.
Sainz and LNS are on the same bit of tarmac, and they are separated by 0.4 of a second. Now, this is interesting because Sainz Jr. is the latest in a list of young stars in the Red Bull package who could well be heading their way to a Formula One drive in the near future. And Red Bull are certainly the talk of the town in terms of race seats. They have 2 young whippersnappers in the Toro Rosso squad fighting with Kimi Räikkönen effectively for a seat in Formula One. And then the junior drivers in various other categories, including Antonio Felix da Costa in 3.5, and now right here in GP3 with Carlos Sainz Jr., who had his 3.5 debut at Monaco a few weeks ago. So he's splitting championships whenever the opportunity comes up to gain track experience. Sainz Jr. is there. He wanted to do Monaco to get examples of that circuit, get experience, sorry, of the circuit for future reference, and it was certainly beneficial to him. But now Sainz Jr. has a very different challenge on his hands, and that's keeping a very feisty championship leader behind him.
Yeah, Elinas won't take any risks. That's the only advantage Carlos Sainz Jr. has, because he'll know that Elinas can't afford to DNF, so he can be quite aggressive when it comes to defending. Interestingly enough, as we see, is that Vinio and
it's Gomez, no, it's Gomez and Fuminelli, I think. Yeah, Fontana in there as well.
Yeah, it is.
Fontana up the inside of Fuminelli trying to defend his position back again, because to be fair, Fontana had a good run there on Gomez, and Semin was very careful of shutting the door and leaving him enough space. But, well, Fontana, frustration is creeping in, and he didn't really want to hand the place back to Semin Gomez. And now Fuminelli struggling to get past and really swarming all over the back.
Going back to the front, Nick Yellerly's just taken over half a second out of Melville McKee, so the gap back down to 1.7 seconds. So I wonder if McKee made a mistake or Yellerly's just putting his foot down, as this is Josh Webster.
Oh, not again.
And Ryan Cullen.
Yeah, that's Webster. He was involved at this very chicane yesterday with his teammate, Jimmy Eriksson. They came together, and this is Cullen trying to go down the inside of Webster to defend his position. Webster was trying to go the long way round, and fortunately they avoided contact, but there was just millimetres between them. Look at Elinas on the back of Sainz Jr. He's shaping up a run here. We said he couldn't get much of a tow, but he certainly got a decent bit of slipstream there. He was really chasing him down, and Sainz Jr. saw that Elinas was going the long way round and shut the door firmly. He said, no, mate, if you want to get me, you're going to have to try a different move than that. Brilliant stuff between these two as Sainz Jr. defends the position, and it's a very patriotic man. I'm smiling so wide. We have McKee, Yellerly, Sims and Williamson in the top 4 places. Before this weekend, Bamboo Engineering had scored 2 points in the entire championship, and right now they're looking at a win and a 4th place. They can't believe their luck.
So gap down at the front, now down to 1.5 seconds. I wonder if Melville McKee's just starting to look in his mirrors and realise what a fortunate position he's in. I say fortunate, he's earned it, and he's there through pace, but he is, in fact, our race leader. And with that comes pressure and expectation. When you're not used to leading a race, it can mean that you tighten up a little bit, and hopefully he doesn't. But Nick Yellerly, a very seasoned campaigner, very, very quick, and Alexander Sims in 3rd. We talked about him earlier as well. They're going to be right there sniffing for any mistake. So Melville McKee will have to keep it clean, doing an incredible job, it has to be said, out front at the moment. But will he just start to feel the pressure as he realises as the laps tick down what a good position he's in?
Yeah, this is in effect a rookie being chased down by 2 veterans of a decent sport, because Yellerly and Sims both know their craft very well. Yellerly returning to GP3 after being in 3.5 last year, and Sims obviously on a guest appearance filling in for Adderley Fong. So these 2 drivers know their craft very well. Melville McKee, very much the inexperienced man of the 3, but he's definitely got the pace and the consistency to win this race. It's all about how he deals with it. It's all about management now, mind management, not just car management, because he's got the position, he's got the advantage, but you've got to let this go. What is it like when you've got that much pressure on your shoulders? You have to maintain it.
It's a really strange position, because you get a good start, the adrenaline's pumping, you get your head down, you don't look in the mirrors, you just push, 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 and then all of a sudden you look in your mirrors, realise that you've done everything you set out to do. There's still 8 laps of the race to go, and you've got it all to lose. And then it's about refocusing and making sure that you're not fearing failure and you're not tightening up as the expectation is heaped upon you. Because when you're out front, like I said, you suddenly realise that actually it's all yours to lose now. And that just does strange things to a young driver's mind. This will be definitely a huge vote of confidence in his mind, though, if he can carry this off and win well, as the gap now comes down another half a second. It's down to a second. If he can win now, then definitely he'll go into the rest of the year with that monkey off his back, and you just feel as though you're 6 foot taller.
Well, it certainly isn't done yet. As you say, the gap is down to 1.1. You can actually see the distance between McKee and Yellowly, and it certainly was not as big as it has been previously. Here they come. There is McKee, and there is Yellowly, and Sims is in his tow. So you can see these three have pulled away now from Williamson. It's going to be between these three for the victory. Williamson has a bit of distance between himself and Sainz Jr. and Elenis, with the rest of the chasing back closing in. But for McKee, it's a really difficult struggle now, because he had a massive lead, and now it's dissipating. Yellowly is closing in. So Williamson out in front there in 4th position in the second Bamboo Engineering car. He's done a good job as well, let's not forget that.
Done a very good job. This man here, I think that well, we're on board with Williamson now. Are we on board with Williamson?
We are indeed, yes.
I recognise that helmet with the Scottish flag on the back of it. We can just see the top of that flag. Great sound from this year's GP3 car, isn't it, as we ride on board. I reckon the Bamboo Engineering squad started with slightly softer tyre pressures. I think a lot of this performance deficit here is in pressures, and Carlin have started probably with a slightly higher pressure, which means that their tyre should stay fairly constant and be very good at the end of the race, and that's probably what we saw. That's why McKee was so quick at the beginning. Yellowly protecting his tyres and just waiting for his time. It's starting to be his time now. The gap down to that second, and what Melville McKee does now will be very important.
It's very interesting to see the contrast of the Carlin team between the three drivers, because you had yesterday Sir Silver and Liechtenstein hitting self-destruct on the first lap, and Yellowly just doing the consistent job he's always done. Now, oh dear, that's Fasu Regalia out of the car. So not only did he have to start this race from the pit lane, but it clearly was a terminal issue. The Argentine driver out of the race. That is an absolute disaster.
So I wonder if he carried a problem then from the start all the way through this race. It'll be interesting to see, but he was in and around 23rd, and I can't believe he's just parked it because he's not going to get any points, but he may have done, and strange things has happened as Yellowly now under pressure from Sims. Look at that. Was that a tow?
I think it might have been, you know. Alexander Sims has suddenly found something from somewhere, and he's decided, well, actually, no, Nick, you're not going for the victory. I am. This is brilliant stuff from Sims, closing in the gap. Either that or Yellowly's got a problem, but it doesn't look like it to me, because Yellowly is still keeping good pace with McKee. Let's look at their lap times as they come through. It's a 1:51 for McKee, a 1:52 for Yellowly, a 1:49.7 for Sims. So he is on it. He's going for Yellowly round the outside there to the Mercedes arena. He is swarming all over the back of Nick Yellowly. This is brilliant. Through the left-hander. Can he carry this advantage into the next left? He's going for it up the inside. He locks up, but he's there. He's done it. Second place. Alexander Sims. He wants a victory here. This is brilliant.
It takes something special to pass around here, and it's the man on the move, Alexander Sims, in for Adderley Fong this weekend. Hugely experienced, hugely talented. Won here in F3 last year, on the podium in GP3 in 2011. And look, he just absolutely sends this. Gets better traction off turn 2. And Nick Yellowly just has nowhere to go. His tyres now starting to go off in the 50s. That's about 3 seconds off of an optimum time around here. So you can just see the Pirellis really starting to wear, as we see Melville McKee's rear starting to move round through 8 and 9 there. And it's just helped Melville McKee get away, but Sims definitely has a strong car underneath him.
And look at the gap he's pulled away. Oh, hang on, that's the Mercia Manor of Cullen. So once again having a bad day in the office,
and
Ryan
I can't
Cullen.
believe he stalled it there. That's a turn 4.
Oh dear. Well, as 3 Brits dominate at the front of the field.